Hello, good morning, beautifuls. Hope you all had a lovely weekend and are ready to get this week started. I know many of you are going back to work, going back to school, going back to all the things. I'm just going back to Monday because my days are all the same. Although we do have appointments today, and we have to take a trip to the landfill because I went on January crazy woman closet clean out in my kids' room. So I literally need to go to the dump with like a truckload of stuff. Closet's now clean. So, all right, my dears. January 5th, the Lord's covenant with Abram. Genesis 15, 1 through 21. Sometime later, the Lord spoke to Abram in a vision and said to him, "Do not be afraid, Abram, for I will protect you. Your reward will be great." But Abram said, "Oh, sovereign Lord, what good are blessings when I don't even have a son? Since you've given me no children, Eliezer of Damascus, a servant in my household, will inherit all my wealth. You have given me no descendants of my own, so one of my servants will be my heir." Then the Lord said to him, "No, your servant will not be your heir, for you will have a son of your own who will be your heir." Then the Lord took Abram outside and said to him, "Look up into the sky and count the stars if you can. That's how many descendants you will have." And Abram believed the Lord, and the Lord counted him as righteous because of his faith. Then the Lord told him, "I am the Lord who brought you out of Ur of the Chaldeans to give you this land as your possession." But Abram replied, "O sovereign Lord, how can I be sure that I will actually possess it?" The Lord told him, "Bring me a 3-year-old heifer, a 3-year-old female goat, a 3-year-old ram, a turtle dove, and a young pigeon." So Abram presented all of these to him and killed them. Then he cut each animal down the middle and laid the halves side by side. He did not, however, cut the birds in half. Some vultures swooped down to eat the carcasses, but Abram chased them away. As the sun was going down, Abram fell into a deep sleep, and a terrifying darkness came down over him. Then the Lord told Abram, "You can be sure that your descendants will be strangers in a foreign land where they will be oppressed as slaves for 400 years. But I will punish the nation that enslaves them, and in the end they will come away with great wealth. As for you, you will die in peace and be buried at a ripe old age. After 4 generations, your descendants will return here to this land, for the sins of the Amorites do not yet warrant their destruction." After the sun went down and darkness fell, Abram saw a smoking firepot and a flaming torch pass between the halves of the carcasses. So the Lord made a covenant with Abram that day and said, "I have given this land to your descendants, all the way from the border of Egypt to the great Euphrates River, the land now occupied by the Kenites, Kenizzites, Cadmonites, Hittites, Perizzites, Rephaites, Amorites, Canaanites, Girgashites, and Jebusites." The birth of Ishmael, Genesis 16, 1 through 16. Now Sarai, Abram's wife, had not been able to bear children for him, but she had an Egyptian servant named Hagar. So Sarai said to Abram, "The Lord has prevented me from having children. Go and sleep with my servant. Perhaps I can have children through her." And Abram agreed with Sarai's proposal. So Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar, the Egyptian servant, and gave her to Abram as a wife. This happened 10 years after Abram had settled in the land of Canaan. So Abram had sexual relations with Hagar, and she became pregnant. But when Hagar knew she was pregnant, she began to treat her mistress Sarai with contempt. Then Sarai said to Abram, "This is all your fault. I put my servant into your arms, but now she's pregnant and treats me with contempt. The Lord will show who's wrong, you or me." Abram replied, "Look, she is your servant, so deal with her as you see fit." Then Sarai treated Hagar so harshly that she finally ran away. The angel of the Lord found Hagar beside a spring of water in the wilderness, along the road to Shur. The angel said to her, "Hagar, Sarai's servant, where have you come from, and where are you going?" "I'm running away from my mistress Sarai," she replied. The angel of the Lord said to her, "Return to your mistress and submit to her authority." Then he added, "I will give you more descendants than you can count." And the angel also said, "You are now pregnant and will give birth to a son. You are to name him Ishmael, which means God hears, for the Lord has heard your cry of distress." This son of yours will be a wild man, as untamed as a wild donkey. He will raise his fist against everyone, and everyone will be against him. Yes, he will live in open hostility against his relatives. Therefore, Hagar used another name to refer to the Lord who had spoken to her. She said, "You are the God who sees me." She said, "Have I truly seen the one who sees me?" So that well was named Bir Lahai Roy, which means well of the living one who sees me. It can still be found between Kadesh and Bereb. So Hagar gave Abram a son, and Abram named him Ishmael. Abram was 86 years old when Ishmael was born. Abram is named Abraham. Genesis 17, 1 through 8. When Abram was 99 years old, the Lord appeared to him and said, "I am El Shaddai, God Almighty. Serve me faithfully and live a blameless life. I will make a covenant with you, by which I will guarantee you give countless descendants. Will guarantee to give you countless descendants." At this, Abram fell face down on the ground. Then God said to him, "This is my covenant with you. I will make you the father of a multitude of nations. What's more, I am changing your name. It will no longer be Abram. Instead, you will be called Abraham. For you will be the father of many nations. I will make you extremely fruitful. Your descendants will become many nations, and kings will be among them. I will confirm my covenant with you and your descendants after you from generation to generation. This is the everlasting covenant. I will always be your God and the God of your descendants after you. And I will give you the entire land of Canaan, where you live now as a foreigner, to you and your descendants. It will be their possession, and I will be their God. The sign of circumcision, Genesis 17, 9 through 14. Then God said to Abraham, "Your responsibility is to obey the terms of the covenant. You and all of your descendants have this continual responsibility. This is the covenant that you and your descendants must keep. Each male among you must be circumcised. You must cut off the flesh of your foreskin as a sign of the covenant between me and you. From generation to generation, every male child must be circumcised on the 8th day after his birth. This applies not only to the members of your family, but also to the servants born in your household and the foreign-born servants whom you have purchased. All must be circumcised. Your bodies will bear the mark of my everlasting covenant. Any male who fails to be circumcised will be cut off from the covenant family for breaking the covenant." Sarai is named Sarah. Genesis 17, 15 through 27. Then God said to Abraham, "Regarding Sarai, your wife, her name will no longer be Sarai. From now on, her name will be Sarah, and I will bless her and give you a son from her. Yes, I will bless her richly, and she will become the mother of many nations. Kings of nations will be among her descendants." Then Abraham bowed low to the ground, but he laughed to himself in disbelief. "How could I become a father at the age of 100?" he thought, "and how can Sarah have a baby when she is 90 years old?" So Abraham said to God, "May Ishmael live under your special blessing." But God replied, "No. Sarah, your wife, will give birth to a son for you. You will name him Isaac, and I will confirm my covenant with him and his descendants as an everlasting covenant. As for Ishmael, I will bless him also, just as you have asked. I will make him extremely fruitful and multiply his descendants. He will become the father of 12 princes, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant will be confirmed with Isaac, who will be born to you and Sarah about this time next year." When God had finished speaking, he left Abraham. On that very day, Abraham took his son Ishmael and every male in the household, including those born there and those he had bought. Then he circumcised them, cutting off their foreskin just as God had told him. Abraham was 99 years old when he was circumcised, and Ishmael, his son, was 13. Both Abraham and his son Ishmael were circumcised on that same day, along with all the other men and the boys of the household, whether they were born there or bought as servants. All were circumcised with him. Every year this comes up to me in my brain. You got a household of servants. You got a 13-year-old. It's probably a little mouthy. You got all these male servants in your house that were not there when the Lord spoke to Abraham. They were not there. Can you imagine the reaction? I mean, there's probably some who were very God-fearing men. And when Abraham said, "I've been commanded to do this by the Lord," they were probably like, "Okay." But there were probably some that were like, "I'm sorry, you want to what? You want to cut off the part of my what? And God told you to do this. There had to have been, like, I would love to know. There had to have been some, like, I mean, would you not be skeptical? Like, what do you mean the Lord told you to cut off the end of my thing? What kind of request is that? Because they weren't there, right? Unless they were all standing there, and I don't think they were. Because it doesn't say he showed himself to all the men in the household. It just says he showed himself to Abram. So is that not a question for anyone else? Does anyone else find that just... I mean, I can guarantee if I said to my husband right now, the Lord spoke to me and told me to cut part of, you know, in a minute, Winnie Bear, you were just out, sweetness. I don't know. I find it bizarre. Anyway, I think you're right, Ruby. I think there was probably a lot of strong arming going on. All right, Winnie. Winnie, come. Winnie, come. Hey. Come here. Come sit down so I can watch you. You want to come up here? Okay. Come on. Look, she climbs up on her own now. Takes her a second, but she does it. Hey, now, I didn't say to do that. No, we're not doing that. We're going to lay down like a nice Winnie Bear. Yes, we're going to turn around and face your head in a different direction today. Right this way. No biting. Oops, sorry, that's a great angle. Hey, no bite. No bite. Good Winnie. Good girl. All right, we are in Breaking Free from Body Shame, and we're on page 121. We're like 2/3 of the way. And we're going to read this section called The Truest Thing About You. It's time to introduce another hero in my personal body story. Her name is Meredith. She's my counselor, and I could spend the... Winifred May Gundermutt. Don't do that again. No. Hold your little wild childness for 3 minutes so I can finish devotions. She's my counselor, and I could spend the rest of this chapter telling you amazing and hilarious stories about her. The amazing stories center around the wisdom and insight she provides without fail. She's tough and tender and genuinely one of the best women I know. The funny story, those are about my unprofessional attachment to Meredith. Once, when I ran into her at a coffee shop, I wasn't sure if I would be breaking some sort of code if I said hello. I did eventually say hi, but then unfortunately I ended up telling her that I loved her too. Then I had to tell her I was sorry. I had said I loved her, but that I did indeed love her. That about sums things up. Meredith has been a hero in my journey to believing my body is good. I'm incredibly grateful for her. Once I was preparing my heart and processing my personal fears about being a bridesmaid in a dear friend's wedding. I love my friend, and I couldn't wait to stand beside her, but I was feeling pretty insecure about my body. I described to Meredith all the characteristics of the situation that concerned me: wearing a dress that didn't fit my body style, standing in front of people and feeling seen, and having my picture taken so many times. When she asked me the golden question, what is the truest thing about you? What do you bring into every one of these spaces that you enter? I'm pretty sure I had to leave our session that day without answering because I had to think about it. There was a lot of answers I wanted to give, but they felt like what I was supposed to say and not what I knew to be true. It took me a few weeks, but I got to my answer, and the truth of it is still transforming me. The truest thing about me, the most valuable aspect of myself that I bring into every situation and relationship is that God loves me. He calls me his friend and has made me his ambassador. This truth doesn't rely on my work or my goodness. It doesn't become false after a hard day in a tough season. But the fact that I'm loved transforms how I love and serve others. It compels me to give all I have and take what I need. It shifts me and sends me. It changes my perspective in the moment and pushes me out into the future with a purpose. The fact that God has called me a friend is what makes me able to be a friend to others. The calling, mission, vision, and purpose He has written into my life enables me to walk through the world with hope and healing in my hands. Being loved, cared for, and sent by God is what helps me walk into any wedding full of light and love, and that is more transforming than how I look in any bridesmaid's dress. The same is true of you, my friend. We can reject the notion that our bodies are projects to keep bodies are projects to keep tinkering with because that notion is rooted in the dark and demonic objectification of women. We can run from the temptation to continually provoke our bodies and obsess about getting them right because they were made good to begin with. And we don't want to set our hearts on stealing glory from God by trying to seek it for ourselves. We can reject any notion that suggests that our bodies are the most important or notable parts of us because we know that our souls also carry beauty and worth into the world. We are not projects. We are daughters of God, bought at a price, given gifts and skills and callings that can literally change the world. We're not hoping to be remembered by the size of our thighs or the shine of our hair or the ability to bounce back after having a baby. We're here to shine the light of Jesus, to love our neighbors, and to use what we've got for the good of others and the glory of God. We are not projects. We are ambassadors, and we're not going to be tricked again into believing anything else. Amen. I love that section. Is that not so good? So good. All right, let me read through the chat real quick, and then I've got to let the weenie out. Yes, for sure, Jennifer. We'll be praying for Bailey. Well, right, Ruby? And when they get a vasectomy, they're like numbed and they still whine about it, right? Can you imagine, though, this random master being like, come here, I'm going to cut off the end of your. Yes, I'm serious. That's what God said to me. He told me to cut off every man's. I'm sure, Meredith, there was a lot of tears that day. We're talking about Abram. When God commanded Abram to circumcise all the men in his house, I said, can you imagine being one of those men and being like, I'm sorry, you want to do what? And he just went through the household and took care of it. And he had a big household. Garden shears, right. Everybody just pops it out and, it's a good time.
No, the guy coming at you with the garden shears going, come here, son. And it's another grown man he's talking to.
Alice. Oh, Rita, I get them out tomorrow. I'm so scared.
I would tell him I'll handle it myself and I bring him back a piece of calamari.
Oh my word, gross. I get them taken out tomorrow, and I'm absolutely terrified. As dumb as that sounds, I was less worried about getting the stitches than I am about getting them taken out. I'm so anxious. It's very sore. The last few days has been really tender as it heals because I tend to like stretch my lip a lot more, but I'm really nervous. You're welcome, Polly. I'm so glad you're here. Alice, that's exciting. And you know what? Here's what I want you to think about. Your wedding. The wedding is about you being present and loving your child getting married. It has nothing to do with your body or looking a certain way in photos. It doesn't. None of that applies. I think we all put that pressure on ourselves, and it doesn't even apply. Right, Meredith? He's disgusting.
Who is?
You. Somebody goes, ew, Tilson.
What?
Your comment.
About the calamari? I mean,
stop. Just stop.
There'd be a way out of it.
Yeah, I'm sure they had calamari in Canaan. Let me just go down to the
if you were a dude and some guy come up and handed that to you and said, "Hey, here you go," would you say, "Wait a minute"?
They can't.
Like, okay, all right.
They can't, Rita. They can't put dissolvable stitches in your lip because it comes in contact with way too much liquid, and it's constantly moist, and they would dissolve too quick. I looked that up because I was like, why didn't they use dissolvable stitches? And they said they can't. It's very rare that they put them in your mouth, especially if it's near where you're drinking and stuff.
If you had a deep enough cut, they put it on the inside of the laceration.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I have a bandana. I have like a double pony to try to. She's got to pee. I have like a double pony to try to make it fuller because my hair it used to have these big fat ponytails and now it's so thin. It's just a bandana from the boot barn, the old boot barn in Nashville. It hasn't.
I can't afford a shoe.
I can't afford the shoes, but I can get a bandana. Actually, I got it free at the Opry. The boot barn was giving them out free when I went to the Opry last time.
$900 boots.
This is the place where I got my boots.
The ones I wanted were how much? $800-$900.
Because you wanted, what were they? They were some kind of snake.
Yeah, python.
Python boots. Yeah, they were
python. What I wanted, but when I saw them, I liked them. Wanted rattlesnake or alligator.
Anywho, well, he's 8. Oh my goodness, Alice. 18 years old and getting married. Then I would have time to get where I want to be. But I do guess about my presence. I know you want to look good, but here's what. You already look good. You're already beautiful. You already look good. You already look good. So about you or not about you, you already look good. Right, Mary? He's up and chatty because we have doctor's appointments today.
I'm not chatty, but I'm up.
Oh, you're chatty.
Well, I'm chatty because I'm overtired.
Yeah, it was wide, Julie. And it would have left a really ugly scar if they hadn't stitched it. I could have, because I got the bleeding stopped, I could have gone without stitches, but the healing would have been harder. Like it was kind of laid open, and I would have had a really bad scar. And it's my money maker. I can't destroy the money maker. This is not my moneymaker. We'd be homeless and broke if it was, but yeah. I just didn't want a massive scar. And when she looked at it, she said, I'm worried about infection if we don't close that up, because even though it was deep, but it was wide, it like split. No, I can't go to the gym today. The gym, no, I did not schedule the gym today for that reason, because we have appointments. So, and then I have 5 one-on-ones and 2 Zooms, 3 Zooms. And one I have to teach that I don't even know what I'm going to teach about yet for the THM coaches. I guess I better get on that. Anyway, my dears, I love you so much. Let's go ahead and end in prayer. God, our Father, thank you for meeting us here. Thank you for the reading of your word. Thank you for drawing us closer to you as we dive into your word yet again this year. And I just pray that you would bless. I pray that you would bless us through the reading of your word. And I pray that it blesses you for us to read it. God, I pray for each woman here. I know the struggles are many. The difficulties are heavy for a lot of these ladies. I pray for Alice as she prepares for a wedding this fall, and preparing her heart and her mind as this comes up. It's a big deal for her. And God, we just pray your blessings on her. God, I also pray for Bailey as she needs to face moving some and exercise. And I just pray for her mom as she encourages her to begin walking, that you would help her to see and understand the need for movement in her life. And we just lift Bailey up to you, and for encouragement and for strength, and for her mom as they venture out on this path to try to gain some health for Bailey. God, as we go through this day, may we honor you with everything that we say and do, and just prepare our hearts to love on those around us. In your precious name, amen. All right. His name is Tony, but he never shows his face on social media, and he's always hidden the top part of his face, Ruby, on social media. So he always reminded us of Wilson on Home Improvement, so we call him Tilson. That's his nickname. Unless I'm mad at him, and then I'm like, I don't call him Tilson. Or Tony. I find another name that's more appropriate. It's 2 syllables and it's not very nice, but I haven't heard anything else, Ruby, on Joe. I don't know if Cindy's on. I haven't heard an update on Joe today or yesterday, actually. I need to check. I haven't heard anything further. So, all right, loves. I love you so much. I have to go wear Winnie out so she can get in her kennel for a couple hours. And yeah, I love you so much. If you are part of Holy Healthy, don't forget tonight at 8 p.m. we have Zoom. Also, don't forget the education for this week has posted, and we're talking this month is about the strong start, and we're talking about mindset this week, and education has been posted. So go watch it, and we'll discuss it tonight. Yeah, Jennifer, that's funny. When I worked at the hospital, so his real name is Mark. His nickname is Tony. His nickname is Tilson. So when I worked at the hospital, I always called him Tony. But then we bought a house and we had a housewarming, and I gave a couple invitations out and it said Mark. And my boss was freaking out. He's like, "Are you seeing somebody on the side? Did you put the wrong name on the housewarming?" I'm like, "No, his real name's Mark." But nobody calls him that. Only professionals and employers.
Mother doesn't even call me that when she's angry.
Nobody calls him Mark. All right, girls. I love you so much. Have a fabulous day, and hope if you're in coaching, I hope to see you tonight.